How we doing, baby?
I gotta go pee. I'm gonna go home.
Just hang in there, baby. You're doing great. I'm proud of you. And Ringo's proud of you. It's almost over. Tell her you're proud of her.
Proud of you, honey bunny.
I love you.
I love you too, honey bunny.
Now, I want you to go in that bag and find my wallet.
Which one is it?
It's the one that says bad motherfucker.
What's happening, guys? Supernova here, back with another video. And this video is my reaction to the state of play that PlayStation just released with all new gameplay of The Last of Us 2. Now, before I even get into it, no spoiler warning on this video because I'm not going into the story spoilers at all. But if you don't want to be spoiled, make sure you don't go into the comments section because the comments section is where the trolls are going to run wild and ruin the story for you. So don't go into the comment section if you don't want anything to be spoiled for you, but you can watch this video in its entirety without anything being spoiled. Let me also say, I think a lot of you misunderstand my attitude towards The Last of Us 2. I had someone yesterday on my video say, man, you just want this game to fail so bad. No, I don't. I don't think you understand that the first Last of Us is my personal favorite game of all time. If you ask me what my favorite game of all time is or what the greatest game of all time is, hands down, without even hesitating, I would say The Last of Us. On 100%. I don't want this game to suck. I don't want this game to fail. I want this game to take the crown from the first game. That is what I want more than anything. Okay? So that's where I stand when it comes to The Last of Us 2. I don't want this game to be bad. Now, I've seen the story leaks, and I can tell you, me personally, from what I've seen, I do not like the story. But I have said in other videos that context is everything. So maybe, given the proper context, the story will be amazing. I don't know. I haven't had a chance to get my hands on the game, so I don't know. Nor does anybody else. Nobody knows, okay? So let me put that out there. From what I know of the story, I hate it. So that's where I stand. First one, greatest game of all time, favorite game of all time. Second one, from what I heard of the story, hate it. Not I hate the game, but I hate the story, okay? So now that that's there, let's continue forward. Now, in my video yesterday, I made a video kind of upset at Sony, asking why would you do this? Why are you picking at the unhealed scab? And I said, don't show us anything else. We know when the game's coming out. We don't need this. Don't show it. It's not going to do anything. It's just going to bring out the trolls. Now, I want to half take that back and half agree with you guys in the comments that said that, oh, it's actually just going to increase hype. Because it's doing both, okay? Like, if you go to the comments, you're already seeing the trolls going crazy. And at the same time, I do think it is increasing hype for the game. Now, me personally, looking at the state of play, I'm not judging it based on what I know of the story. I don't think it's fair to judge the state of play based on my attitude or feeling towards the story. And it's unfortunate that I'm seeing a lot of other YouTubers just hating on this state of play because they don't like the story. I'm like, what does the story that you think is what happens in the game, because no one's confirmed it. I mean, it probably is what it is, but still, your story that you think happens in the game, what does it have to do with the state of play they're showing us? And I'm hearing a lot of this, and it's about the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's, well, the gameplay looks great, but, well, the graphics look good, but, well, this and this and this, but, and the but always goes back to the story. This state of play is not talking about the story. This has nothing to do with the story. They're showing us gameplay and gameplay mechanics. And I can tell you right now, this video got me a little more hyped for the game. I was already going to be there day one, even though I hated the story leaks. Because I love this franchise and I love the game so much. And I was going to play it for myself and decide for myself day one and not have other people tell me what the game is like or how good or bad the game is. So I was already going to play it day one. And this video got me more hyped for the game. And I don't understand why people can't get the story out of their head for a second and just judge what's put in front of them. But they're not. And I think it's incredibly unfair to the game and unfair to the state of play to judge it solely on the story that you think happens, even if the story leaks were 100% true. To judge the state of play based on that story is not fair to the state of play. Because looking at this, I'm sorry. Naughty Dog are the baddest motherfuckers in gaming right now. I don't like their attitude. I don't like the agendas they push. I don't like their being so buddy-buddy with Anita Sarkeesian. That aside, Naughty Dog are the bad motherfuckers of gaming. And you cannot deny that looking at this gameplay. Okay? There's a word they always use in gameplay. Oh, visceral. Oh, it's visceral. Oh, this is visceral. The combat in this game is visceral. Okay? You shoot people in the head with an arrow, they don't just die. You hear their last breaths escaping their body as they fall to the ground. You stab someone in the throat with your knife, you hear them gurgle on their own blood as they die on the ground. They don't just insta-die. They live a little bit and you hear the last seconds of their life slip away as they die. Everything about this gameplay to me felt realistic. It felt real. And the tension and the atmosphere and the music, I'm not seeing anybody else talk about these things. It's just this and this and this, but the story. This and this and this, but the story. Who gives a fuck about the story right this second? Yes, the story is 100% important. The story is the most important element of The Last of Us, bar none. Got it, we know. But tell me about what you're seeing with your own two eyes right now. And no one's doing it. It's just a bunch of jaded people pissed off about the story that are not even looking at what's in front of them and picking it apart, and analyzing and judging, and then explaining to you what they saw. Just everywhere you look and everything you look at in this presentation, it just oozes quality. Story, like I said, story aside, the story, if the leaks are true, that story is trash. But that does not take away from the accomplishments and the achievements happening in the gameplay itself. Because this game looks fucking awesome gameplay wise. Like graphically, this game looks amazing. And I just saw it and I haven't even had a chance to watch it in 4K. I was watching it just in 1080p because that's all the stream was available in. I can't wait to watch this again on my 4K TV. The graphics are amazing, and it's not just the graphics, it's the little things. It's all the subtle animations that Naughty Dog just nails. Ghost of Tsushima comes out after this game. After this game. That blows for Ghost of Tsushima. Because Ghost of Tsushima is already having talks of it looking downgraded, which I do agree with. And then on top of that, it's going to launch after The Last of Us 2, which is probably going to be one of the greatest looking games of the generation. I'm sure Digital Founders got a hard on for this game in terms of analyzing the graphics. Anyway, that was just a long, excited rant, so let's talk about the actual state of play. First thing I want to talk real quick about is this girl listening to music on her PS Vita. The Vita lives on, guys. The Vita lives. But there's a section here where Ellie's swimming up behind this enemy. And I was like, yo, Ellie swimming is making so much fucking noise. There's no way this girl doesn't hear Ellie swimming up. Like, it's ridiculous and unrealistic if she doesn't hear her. But, lo and behold, she's jamming on some music on her earbuds and her PlayStation Vita. So I thought that was a cool touch. And then even small things like the death animations. Like, Ellie stabs that girl in the throat and she just doesn't just die. She's writhing on the ground, choking on her own blood. And you can see, like, the blood spouting out of her neck in a rhythm as if it was actually being pumped by her heart. And we know that Naughty Dog has said that every character in the game has a heartbeat. So it's almost like her heart is literally pumping blood out of that hole in her neck. And it's just like, how many games do we see that do this? I really can't think of any off the top of my head. I'm sure there's some exist, but I mean, all of this just adds to that feeling of being grounded and real that the first Last of Us was so good at, and this is just kicking up to a whole nother notch. Look, I'm not playing the audio on this video for a couple of reasons. One is, if I'm talking over the video, you're not going to be able to hear shit. And the other thing is, there's always a chance that it'll get flagged to be copyright, whatever. And I just don't want to deal with it. But I'm going to link the actual State of Play. If you haven't watched it, I'll link it in the description. You should go watch the entire State of Play on your own and just watch it, because everything, the graphics, the animations, the gameplay, the music, the sounds, the environment, everything. It just feels very realistic. I'm sorry to gush like a little bitch, but you know me, I keep it real with you. I don't give a shit what you think. I don't give a shit what you or care about what you think about me. But I'm telling you, when I'm watching this gameplay, take the story out of the equation. When I'm watching this gameplay, I'm like, Jesus, this game looks fucking awesome. I really hate that the leaks happen. I hate that I know the story because it is making it hard to love what I'm seeing. But I would put that gameplay up against anything on any other platform right now and say, match that, beat that, show me animations better than that. It doesn't exist. Like I said, Naughty Dog are the bad motherfuckers of gaming. They really are. So I suggest you go check out the video for yourself. Like I said, I hate to sound like a little hyperbolic fangirl, but no, the haters are going to hate. And I hate on the story, but I can't hate on the gameplay and what I'm looking at here in the state of play because it looks awesome. Anyone saying that it doesn't look good is lying. Anyone saying, well, it looks good, but the story, well, they're choosing to focus on the story and ignore everything else about the game that may make it great. And I'm going to give the game a chance, even though I can't stand the goddamn story, because I think it deserves that. And there are lots of people that worked on this game that aren't particularly fond of the story, but it wasn't their job to make the story. It was their job to create the AI for the dogs or the physics for the grass or anything else that deserve for us to actually take an objective look at what they're showing us and an objective look at the game without letting the leaks or stories jade us on what the overall experience can be. I also want to point out that I noticed when Neil Druckmann was talking in the earlier portion of the State of Play about the enemy types, he mentioned all the enemy types we know about and then seemed to insinuate that there are additional enemy types that we haven't yet seen. So that was something that was interesting to me. And then also, just gameplay mechanics wise, the game just is a lot more fluid than what the first Last of Us was and what Uncharted was. There's so much more fluid and so much quicker because of how nimble Ellie is. And the backpack, all the options within the backpack, it does seem like it's evolved a little bit. I keep hearing people say, it looks just like the first game. Oh, it plays just like the first game. Okay, why wouldn't it play like the first game? Like, it's a sequel to a game. It's gonna play like the first game. It's some dumb shit that people say. But, I mean, gameplay mechanics, that you can tell that every type of mechanic that has to do with gameplay is evolved in some way. They didn't just copy and paste code from the first game and say, boom, slap some new graphics on it and it's good. You can tell they went through and they evolved and changed and made everything better or new or slicker than they were in the first game. I don't know, man. Like I said, take the story out of the equation, and I think this game's gonna wow on many, many different fronts. I think that it's gonna be a technical marvel and masterpiece in many different ways. And it sucks that it has this cloud of the leaks and the story that we don't like hanging over it, because otherwise I think that this game would be something freaking insanely incredible. And I think that no matter what, the haters are going to hate, but Naughty Dog is flexing and showing us why they are the bad motherfuckers of gaming. And that's just my 2 cents. Well, that's the video, guys. That's my 2 cents on the whole state of play for The Last of Us 2. Let me know what you think in the comments, and as always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next Supernova.